welcome everyone to another episode of All Consuming Podcast. Today, Tyler and I are going to talk about a band that we have listened to, well, since the beginning, I'll say, since they first started.
Absolutely.
But the band is Gideon, and we're going to talk about their album Costs. And I know we listened to them a lot in college, especially this album, around the time Close Your Eyes came out, because I remember jamming both of those albums like side by side, swapping them out in my Jeep. Like, oh, this one's over, put this one in.
This is like one of those, like, for me, it was a different sound during that time, right? Like, when you listen back to Costs, which, man, it's just a great album overall, and like lyrically, we're gonna dive in. It's phenomenal, right? But
why is that funny?
Because we're gonna talk also about how their lyrics have changed a little bit with New Gideon, right? But like the hardcore sound that they have is awesome, and it was different than the metalcore that we were really eating up at the time, you know. And I think maybe that's why Close Your Eyes and Gideon kind of stood out. It just felt like something a little bit different in the scene.
Here's a fun story. A guy on our Discord is a friend of Daniel McWhorter, or something like that. Knows a guy who knows a guy, right? And he was saying that when the band was in the studio recording Costs, Scooter Lee left the band, right?
Yeah.
And they needed someone, I don't know the reason, I don't know what happened, but they needed someone to step in and finish the album, right? To do the vocals. The cool part is Scooter Lee is on like 3 of the songs, and we're actually going to talk about all 3 songs that he's on.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So there's another local band where Dan was the vocalist, and you know, he came in and filled in the shoes and recorded the album, and I guess they got along, whatever. They decided to keep him. He stuck around with Facedown Records. So with that, like, he wasn't the lyricist. He wasn't the, writer of Costs. So later when more albums came out, you know, you kind of noticed a change, like a shift in lyrical focus, right?
Sure.
From Jesus, kingdom-minded, right?
Yep.
To like this like positive, like, you know, I don't know, camaraderie, we can do it kind of lyrics, right? And then when the Facedown deal was over, they signed to someone else, and boy, were they not even positive. Yeah. And that's where the controversy comes from. They drop swear words a lot. The music is filthy. It's awesome. Like, musically, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's so heavy, but it's, you know, it's not the Gideon everyone was expecting.
Sure.
So with that, I can kind of like defend and say, well, was he really ever a Christian? Did he just kind of step into this band and had to fulfill a contract that they signed? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Tyler?
You know, like thinking about it and like learning that he wasn't a big part of the writing part of Costs, like, I guess it makes more sense, you know? But it's just really tough because college, Gary and Tyler, we listen to these lyrics, right? We listen to Kingdom Minded, we listen to False Prophets and Virtue and all these awesome songs off this album. Yeah. And we identify our like beliefs because we hear the lyrics and we're like, oh, these dudes,
they relate.
Are that. We relate, and we can just like, we feel it, you know? And it's part of the reason we really just get drawn to the music is because of the lyrics. That's why we come back for it. And then for them to change, like, it's a gut check. You know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, like, for real though, like it you think about it and you're like, wow, you never thought they'd get to that point. But if you're living a lie, right? You can't be singing and writing about things you don't believe in. I mean, you could. There's a person that does it, right? Heliocentric or whatever it is. But you can't, like, you know what I mean? And so I think there's a possibility of that rumor. Like, we got to say it too, like the Discord thing, like, it's not necessarily like 100% like fact checked. It's just what we heard,
right?
You know?
Yeah. Rumor.
And so, but to think like, okay, that kind of makes sense, you know? and so it's tough. And then so the question I think that you're getting at is like, okay, Gideon now has all of these albums that are not Christian, that are full of curse words. That
Well, it's just one album so far.
true. But like you listen to it and it's like, man, the music is still sonically there, and it's heavy, it's fun, it's great, but you can't listen to it around kids. You know that.
Yeah,
type
it's like
of,
their
that type of
target
feeling.
audience just shifted.
Yeah. And so how do we deal with that? Can we still like listen to Koss and Kingdom Minded and be like, dude, I am Kingdom Minded, and like really associate what the lyrics were originally meant for?
Right. I think it's like, yeah, I feel like whenever a band does this, you know, even like As They Lay Dying, you know, everyone's like, they immediately say all of their albums are now going in the garbage.
Right.
Like, oh, Under Oath. Nope, everything's trash. But
Yeah.
you know, there's like those questions like, what does this mean of their past music? What does this mean of their future music? And what comes next?
Yeah.
You know, like, do you keep listening?
Right. It's interesting because like going back and listening to do this episode, I immediately got drawn back in. Like, I 100% love these songs. Like, some of my favorites, right? And they bring me right back to 2011 in college, listening to them in the car. You know?
Yeah. I think it's wrong. I'm going to say it's wrong for people to just get rid of the old music, right?
Yeah.
Just because you think, oh, they changed or they betrayed or whatever.
Right.
Because that music's not going anywhere. It's still there. The lyrics are still there. The you know, original intent, you know, of the lyricist or whatever is still there. You know, the heart for God is still there. We were still impacted. And God can use anybody to write a song.
Right. And that's why we're going to talk about Koss today on All Consuming Podcast, baby.
So yeah, overall thoughts on the album. Here's mine. It's really awesome. It's good hardcore. I believe it's like melodic hardcore because there's like clean singing and there's breakdowns,
clean
I guess,
guitars,
you know, kind of like metalcore-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's got group shouts. It is angry.
Yeah.
Like, the vocals are nuts.
Yeah.
And lyrics, that's what I like.
Me too.
The lines and the aggressive vocals that just have that passion, that just really sell the lyrics to you. Punchy drums, heavy guitars. It's a good time.
It's great. I mean, I think you checked all the boxes for me too. I just love this style of music. Hardcore is becoming, or maybe it already has become, just like my favorite genre of metal. And I like these guys a lot for their lyrics for this album, right? But also, we saw them live, Gary, and I thought they did a really awesome job live.
I remember enjoying them live. That was I've seen them twice.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Once around the time Calloused came out.
Oh, okay.
I saw them with Wolves at the Gate.
Oh, Wolves at the Gate.
No, Wolves at the Gate and The Ghost Inside.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
one more. And Fit for a King. Fit for a King was the headliner.
That's
at
awesome.
the Hop. And then like 3 years before that, you and I saw them at the Hop around when Milestone released.
Yeah, and it felt like there wasn't a ton of people there. I mean, because the venue itself it's not there anymore, but the venue itself was small.
It's a weird building.
It is a weird building. Yeah, but I remember not being very many people there. We were like right at the front.
Yeah.
And it was a good show. They played a lot of songs off of Koss because their Milestone just probably came out, and it was fun.
Yeah. And they gave you a little shout out, finger pointing, because you knew Roll Tide.
Yeah, so they said they were a band from Alabama, and so in my mind, because like I like college football, you know, if you're from Alabama, it's either Roll Tide for the University of Alabama or War Eagle for Auburn University.
So you were just taking a shot here, huh?
Yeah, I was just assuming that.
What if they were just like flipping you off?
They would have if they were Auburn fans. It was said, "Nah, War Eagle, man."
No, they jumped on Tyler. They're like pointing at him like, "This guy,
this guy knows what he's talking about." I just yelled, "Roll Tide," and like they all stopped and were like, "Yeah!" And
all the kids in the pit are like, "What does that mean?" What's that?
It felt good for a moment. I was like, "Yeah, man." Cheers to that, yeah. And truthfully, like, I hate the University of Alabama, like just their football team because they're always so good. They're like the evil empire, you know.
Yep. They're the Patriots.
They're the Patriots. They're the Yankees. That's who they are, you know. But it was cool to like kind of identify with them. All the way up in Spokane, somebody saying "Roll Tide."
yeah, and that venue, man, it was like, for those that don't know, it was a really weird building. It's like two like 3-story buildings or 2-story buildings are like put together, and they took the walls apart. And it's like the second floor, they just chopped the floor out so that there was a balcony now.
Yeah,
because it was
really
like, it wasn't made that way. It was just really weird. It was like skinny and long. Yeah,
not ideal for a show. Not ideal for a show.
Yeah,
but man, I went to a few shows there. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. So with that, shall we jump into this?
Let's do it. Let's talk about the first track, which is Unworthy.
So Unworthy starts off with tinnitus.
Oh, okay, yeah, the ringing in your ears.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? When is the song going to start? But it starts off really angry 45 seconds in.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just really sets the tone for like what we're about to hear. Very heavy, very punchy, choppy, hardcore.
Yeah, and there's a couple breakdowns in here that I absolutely love, but like lyrically, it's hard to really like talk about the song, I think, without like going to the lyrics, because like it feels like, to me, close to like almost a For Today song or something along those lines, about fire burning inside, about being unworthy, and like. It's great. Reading the lyrics, you're like, man, this is awesome. Especially like, oh, gosh, the beginning when he let this fire burn, and it's an awesome breakdown right afterwards, and it just goes so hard. It's awesome. Let this fire burn and never die. For the sake of something I won't see with my own eyes, let this fire burn. And just like the way that he screams that with passion and just anger is awesome. Just love it.
Yeah, what do you think of the clean vocals?
I like them. I mean, it's definitely the 2010s or 2000s, like that era.
I remember being relieved at the time because everything coming out at that time with clean vocals was just so high pitch.
This is still kind of high pitch,
Of
though,
Mice
right?
and Men.
Yeah.
Devil
Wears Prada during that time.
We Came as Romans.
Yeah.
It's like you're like listening to this heavy thing, your windows are rolled down, and you're like, this is so heavy, I have to share it with the world, right? And this lady pulls up in her car, and you're like, oh, she's gonna be so mad at me because I'm just blaring, and her windows are rolled down too. And then like the girliest clean vocals come on, and they don't look at you like, how rude, your music's too loud. They look at you like, are you okay? Like, what are you listening to?
See, I've never felt that, Gary. I know you always have been like
15-year-old girl screaming in my speakers, and they're like, what is he listening to? You know, it's like, it's actually a guy, okay? And it's actually a really good song if you just look past that. But for this, that is not the case.
Sure.
You know, it was just more standard. I think the clean vocals on this, and sometimes parts of the screaming, reminds me of the Crimson Armada, you know, from Convictions.
100%. Yes.
And I don't know how and if they were involved, or it's just sonically similar, or what the deal is.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I totally hear that a lot. Like when the screams like change to a different scream.
Yeah.
You know, it's that different.
Yeah, and on some songs it's Scooter, but not this song. There's that scream where he says, arms open wide, and then someone else screams, I scream at the sky. And you're like, whoa, who's that? You know?
Yeah, I do like the clean singing. It's interesting because I know for you, like, that's the reason you were like never like fully bought into like early Devil Wears Prada with those like high vocals, right? You've said that
at the time. Yep.
At the time, right?
Totally.
And like it's funny like looking back and listening back to this other music during this time, and you're totally right. It was screaming, high pitch, like as they dying, like they are doing it too, you know. And it's like it's just it's interesting. But I do like the cleans here. But for me, like the reason I love Gideon is because of the hardcore screaming. I mean, that's what it comes down to for me.
Yep.
And I think his vocals on here are just awesome.
I agree.
You know, and like reading this too, like just lyrics, like you look at it and this is a really, really, really Christian song. Like it has to be, you know. I guess they don't necessarily say.
Look at the chorus alone, right?
Yeah, filthy hands raised to the sky, you know, and stuff like that. Like, unworthy is still your claim. I always think, which is kind of funny, when I was reading through these lyrics and listening to it again, when it gets to the part, which is a really awesome part, when he screams, arms open wide, I pray my goodbye, like that part. Mm-hmm. I always think of Creed with arms wide open.
Oh, that's not the same.
I know it's not the same, but like it's the same words, just like mixed around, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, for some reason my mind always goes there. You know what's weird? What I've been thinking about lately.
Besides
Gary?
that, what else?
Besides that, I saw this this. I was just thinking about this lately. Like, what if I just like, ironically, was wearing like a Nickelback band T-shirt? Like, I hate Nickelback.
Okay.
But like, what if I just like rocked one? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Or like get a Creed shirt.
Does Nickelback even have any merch?
I'm sure they do.
Do people buy?
I'm sure you could buy that off like Amazon or something. But like, you know, and people are like, dang, that guy likes Nickelback. I'm like, no, I actually hate him.
I want to talk about this.
Somebody come talk to me about my Creed shirt.
Like, oh, you know? Name 3 songs. How about you name 3 songs and tell me why they're good?
Yeah, like what if we did that?
Like, how dare you for recognizing this shirt? How dare you? You are the reason the music industry.
Yeah. So I work with teachers because I'm a teacher.
That makes sense.
And a lot of them are older, you know, like maybe like 10 years older or whatever. And we eat lunch together and like they're dudes and they're all like, they think Nickelback's like one of the greatest bands ever. Like, like seriously. Unashamed fan. Right? He's now a Nickelback fan.
He's cultured now.
And I would say, no, I'm wearing this because I hate him. I don't know. I don't know why I thought of that, and we'll probably edit it out. But
this is a rabbit trail for sure. Yeah. How about we talk about the breakdown on the song?
I do like the breakdown at the end, right? When he says, "Let this fire burn," and it's like burn, 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 burn. Like it goes out like that, you know. Not like with a beat, but it like it has like an echo on it.
Does it?
Yeah, dude, and it's so sick.
The music is like, brr, brr, you know, you got those blast drums and guitars, you know, fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a great way. I mean, it doesn't start off the album because Koss is before it, but it really does because Koss.
It's not a full song.
It's an intro song, right?
Yeah.
This is like the first like real song on the album, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next song we picked.
Let's do it.
False Prophets.
Because they all have 50 years. You are the one that I despise. Listen, I'll love these broken lies again, 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 again. So go ahead and prophesy. Let the money satisfy. How can you live your life knowing it's just a lie? Like you do no other. Truth at all costs. Erase it. Like you do no other. Truth at all.
So can you even be a hardcore or metalcore band, Christian band, during this time and not write a song about prosperity gospel? That's the real question, Gary. It's like, I feel like our previous episode we talked about, you know, our like mixtape. We had a couple songs.
Yeah.
We're just about this, and this is the same, False Prophets. It's very interesting. I always loved how they have the title of the song False Prophets, but it's prophet as in money profit, but false prophets as in prophets with a PH. Yep. Like, I thought that was pretty cool and clever.
It's clever.
It is. I love this. I love the drums. The beginning just starts going, you know.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
And it just feels like this perfect like example of Gideon and who they are and hardcore music. And I think my favorite part of the song, like, it's one of those, and you've said this recently too, like, you know where you are. When it says, so go ahead and prophesy. Don't. Like, I just, like, know exactly where I am when I hear him. The way he says that, it's awesome.
And let the money satisfy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, this is a song that I think this is one of the first ones that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because every song around that time that had to do with false prophet stuff, we seem to get into. I don't know why. Right. That's kind of weird, but
yeah.
Anyway, there's just certain lines that like really stick out, and I think it's just because around that time I was starting to get my screaming vocal ear.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so like I could start understanding people that were screaming. Yeah. So here comes Gideon, new band, and they're screaming, and I'm like, I understand every word. Like, this is nuts, you know. And so one of the lines that really sticks out to me was when he said, "Tell them exactly what they want to hear, because they all have itching ears."
Yeah.
But I think the one that, like, the ones that didn't just stick out because it's catchy or because I could understand them, but because, like, it's really, like, accurate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome to say is that when he says, hide behind the name of Christ, you are the one that I despise. And he says, instead of life, instead of love, you spread lies again, 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 again.
That's what it keeps you satisfied. Feed the lies as long as you can find. Hide behind the name of Christ. You are the one I despise. Listen of Christ. Listen of Christ, you spend your lives again, 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 again.
Yeah, I really like that part too. The way he screams again, 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 again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, lyrically it is like kind of like those other songs, you know, that we've talked about before. But I do like this like call of like, I will stand for truth at all costs, right? Going back to the title of the album, you know. I do think this song is a great example of like not necessarily like the heaviest song, and I don't know, maybe I'm off on this, but like I think this was my favorite song when I first like heard this album, kind of like how the first one that stood out to you.
Yeah.
But going back, like listening to it, I still like it, but I don't know if it's my favorite anymore. And maybe I'm just not identifying with like.
Or
all
you've
the
heard
false
it
prophets.
like 1,000 times.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's how I feel about like some of the songs. And so for some of you that don't know, when Tyler and I like pick an episode or pick an album to do, man, it takes so much.
It does.
Because they're like, oh, how about we do this one? And I'm like, I don't know. I listened to that recently and I just don't feel it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just, but you know, it was impactful. It was huge to us, you know.
Right.
But it's like, I've listened to it so much, I'm numb. I don't know if I can get stoked on it and be like, you guys, this album was so amazing, and convince listeners to check out this thing from 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah. See, and it's interesting because we've kind of done like this back and forth a little bit of trying to do new bands and old bands. I think it's easier to try to convince somebody to listen to a new band and get hyped on it because we feel like, hey, we know these guys, they don't. Yeah. Right? Like part of us is like, everyone knows Gideon, and a lot of people might have a bad, like, at least in our circles, they might have like a bad taste of what Gideon is or think Gideon is certain.
Right. They immediately throw away their old discography because of the latest thing that they've heard.
Right. But if you just go into it and go listen to Koss, right? Go listen to these songs that we're going to talk about, it's hard not to fall in love with the band, who they were. Before we end this song, we cannot leave without talking about the blech.
Just the whole breakdown.
Just it's amazing, right?
Like, it reminds me, so you were saying that, you know, it has like For Today vibes on the previous song.
Yeah.
The breakdown part of this, when he's like, I will stand, and it's like chuggy.
Yeah.
And, you know, my last breath, I will stand against the lies. And he's like, and he's like growling on his way to say, I will stand again. And I just love that, because I think that's why the song stuck out the first time I listened to it, because it's like this build up to this breakdown was just so aggressive, and you like felt it.
Somebody's last breath. I will stand against the lies. I will stand against the lies, against the pain that you've caused inside so many lives. You are the one I despise. Your words, they seem as though they're knives sucked into their backs like an enterprise. I will defend the truth. Truth at all costs. Your life,
the blah.
What do you think of the way it ends with that group shout, you know, after he says truth at all costs, and he's like, your life's a lie?
I like it.
Yeah. I never knew that that's what he said.
I was just gonna say that.
I don't know why, but now that I know that that's the word, like, it's kind of harsh.
It sounds like that's a day to remember lyric, like how to end a song. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like a way that they would end a song. You're alive, so lie. I don't know what I thought he said.
Me neither.
It's funny because we were just talking about how like the vocalists, I guess vocalists, multiple for this album, really clear to understand their screams. Yeah. At least it feels like that for us. And we didn't know what this was. It's interesting. Yeah. I like how it ends though. Like knowing it now, I'm like, okay, that's cool.
So should we move on to the next song?
Let's move on to the next song, Gutcheck.
You need a Gutcheck, tell you my knees. Praying for you, you did this for me. You did this for you, your lack of faith. Let's make it basic. The only thing left is dealing with it. Dealing with it. Question everything, but I still believe. When all my friends have picked up and gone, I still believe.
So something fun. I have this shirt.
Do you?
Do you remember it? It's like a dark blue. It's got like the picture of a big old boar on it with like a nose piercing, like a huge old ring on it, and it's got a big moon in the background and all that. It's one of my favorite shirts for a long time, and one of my favorite songs for a long time. But yeah, so the song is great. It's interesting that the first 30 seconds is like a teaser of the song, and because after that it like slows down and like starts with a verse, you know, like they're just like, here's the super heavy fast part. This is what the song sounds like. You need a gut check, get you on your knees.
Yeah.
Lyrically, I really like this song. I don't know how much I want to say right now. I'll wait for it to build. But
sure.
The cool part about this song is basically it's someone who's like fallen from faith, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Just walked away, and he said, you need a gut check. Got me on my knees praying for you. You did this for me. Now I'm doing it for you. So it's like the person who showed them Christ has walked away. And he's like, your lack of faith makes me sick. And the only thing left to do is to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, what else can you he can't do anything. You know, they're not listening. They're doing what they're going to do. And how the tables turn, I don't know what else to say about that. What are your thoughts?
I love that it comes in right away with the slide. Yep. And then the scream, you need a gut check. Like, just right away. Like, just we're going to jump right in, like you said. And it is, like, the tease. And I love that the verses are really fast. The chorus or breakdown, whatever it is slow and chuggy and heavy. And it's awesome. I really, even today, like, thinking about these lyrics, like, I identify with this. I get drawn to these types of things because as you continue to get older and grow, you know, in your faith and continue to walk in your faith, you see this happen.
Yeah.
Right? You see people leave the faith. People that once were your buddies going to church with you, right? Yeah. That were in your youth groups, whatever it is, right? And you see the life that they're living now, and it's like it makes you sick because you think of all the times that maybe you prayed together, or all the conversations you had and stuff like that. And so I really could identify with this.
Yeah, totally. And I think, you know, it's not just friends and family, you know. I mean, bands, actors, whatever, you know, just people. It happens, you know, the world's a sinful place, but at the same time, people are joining the faith.
Sure.
There's a reason why it's the path less traveled.
It is ironic a little bit.
What part?
A lot of it, that this is Gideon that's singing this, thinking of what Gideon has become today, right? Like, there's a gut check that they need. It's like what we would be saying, like, you need a gut check, guys. I wonder if they sing
10 years
this
in the
still.
future from now.
I wonder if they still sing this. They probably do.
I don't think so.
Do you think they do anything off of Cost?
Nah. 10 years ago? I mean, they might do Virtue or something like that. But
Yeah.
another line that I really like is when he said, "They said question everything, but I still believe. When all my friends have packed up and gone, I still believe."
That's good stuff.
I mean, those are really cool lyrics, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you know, the fun part about this song is it's like a solid minute and a half of groove,
Oh, yeah.
like this like walking double bass pedal,
Yes.
where it's just like going slow, and then it's like, I'm gonna speed up for a little bit for this part, and then it slows
Yeah.
back down, and then, you know, and he yells, you know, spit you out, screaming it. It's a fun musically, like this just hits.
Yeah, I love how he screams, "Spit you out, I spit you out of my mouth." That whole chorus, bridge, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it is so, it's done really well, and it's super heavy. And yeah, like you said, the slow grooves, chugs, heaviness is like a good half of the song.
And Scooter is on this too.
Really, I was going to ask you that. So what are his vocals? Is it just him? Or is
No. He's just featured in it.
Interesting.
So there's some parts where like you can tell like the spit you out is a little different.
Oh.
And I think he might be involved in the towers fall, mountains shake, the earthquakes.
Okay.
But
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't stick out that much on this track compared to some of the ones later when you're like, who is that?
Right. This is a song I was drawn to at the beginning also, right? Just like the way that it is. And going back, I still love it. You still have that shirt?
I do still have the shirt. I try not to wear it. It's getting kind of thin. And I think it has like random little dot holes. I don't know what that's about. Like on the seam on the side, and I'm like, man, one day I'm gonna like pick up something too heavy and my shirt's just gonna rip off of my body.
Well, you're that much. We established that last episode, Gary. You're ripped.
That was like 6 years ago. Jen listened to the episode. She's like, "So when are you gonna work out?"
No, she didn't.
No. So for those that don't know, the spit you out is like a biblical reference.
Yep.
So this song is about someone that like walked away from the faith. Really cool, like biblical line to use in a angry breakdown yelly thing.
So good, and it fits perfectly. It's awesome.
So let's go to another Scooter track. Brave New World.
Okay, so Brave New World, right away, I think this song has the best riffs on the entire album.
Yeah.
I really love the guitar riffs in this song. Killer. And lyrically, it's a little bit different than what we've been dealing with theme-wise, right? And it's one of those that's kind of hard to get what they're trying to say. But like Brave New World, what I think about being an English teacher, I think about Shakespeare. It's originally was in the Tempest.
Right, it's because you're an English teacher, not because you're like a, big Shakespeare buff.
I'm not. No, I took a Shakespeare class in college. I had to. But the idea of Brave New World is like this idea, this utopia, where people are like, this is the best world ever, but they take away like all of people's humanity, right? It's kind of like a 1984. Think of all these like dystopian
Animal Farm
movies and shows and things. Yeah, kind of like that. And this idea of like you'll trying to seek the truth and be unique and all those types of things aren't there. The humanity's taken away, and so you like kind of apply it to these lyrics, and you look at it, and you can totally like see what they're trying to say. I think it's interesting that this was some of the things they said, because they start comparing like the pilgrims coming over to like the new world,
the big blue pond,
right, coming over, enslaving basically people, and then comparing it like, this is the new world, we're going to seek religious freedom, but it turns out you are creating this bad society, look what we have become. Right. And so there's like, it's interesting they use that as a comparison.
Yeah, he compares it. He says America is just, he sees gluttony and lies in suits and ties, empty mouths, and a nation filled with discontent.
And is he wrong?
Yeah, lyrically, this reminds me of like some impending doom songs.
Dude, yes. I was trying to think of what it reminds me of. Absolutely.
Yeah. Even Demon Hunter has some songs like this.
Yeah.
Just like what we expected from America and what it is.
Right.
But yeah, it is different. Honestly, lyrically, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But the speed and how it's so guitar driven, like I've always just thought it was a good jam to play.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, for 20 years, the last 10 years that this album's existed, until about a few months ago, I had no idea what that chorus was.
The Brave New World?
All I could hear was, I trust the Mexican truth.
What?
Yeah, we'll play it. He's actually saying, I'm just a man seeking truth.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I know that's not what he's saying, but that's what I could hear.
I'm just a Mexican truth. Brave New World. I'm just a Mexican truth. Brave New World. I'm just a Mexican truth. Brave New World. I'm just a Mexican truth. Brave New World.
That's funny. That's hilarious, actually. That's what we do that all the time, though. Those like bad like lip readings, like you're trying to understand what they're saying. Did they just say that?
Why? Yeah. After all these years, why did I never go, what is he really saying?
Let's look it up.
Instead, I'm just like, I don't know what he's saying, but that's what it sounds like, so that's what I'm singing.
That's what it is.
The Mexican truth. That's it right there.
Yeah, I because you listen to it now, right? And Brave New World, he's just a man seeking truth in this world that was supposed to be like the epitome of like what a Christian society should be, is what, escaping for their religious persecution. And it's not that, right? He's just a man seeking truth, right? In this world of discontent. I really do love, speaking of that chorus, I really do love the way that they do it, because I'm a sucker for group shouts. I really am. I really am, Gary. And when he says, I'm just a man seeking truth, and then they group shout, Brave New World, like, I like that.
I could have done with one or two less.
No, dude.
Like, either less choruses or like less lines in the chorus. It's just long.
It brings me back to a different time. I think that's why I like it. But
the nostalgia is what you like.
Sure.
Yeah, I try my best to throw nostalgia out the window. Just to see, does it live up? Can it stand today?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, so what about Scooter's part?
That's the best part of the song. Like, that's the groove. I love that, like, bridge where he's on it and just screams with friends like you, who needs enemies. Like, that is so awesome. Going
Yeah.
into the chorus too to end it, it is just a major groove, and I absolutely love that.
With friends like you, who needs enemies? With friends like you, who need enemies? Let's not try to fall these. Six to hear me for me. Let's not try to fall these. Six to hearing for these. I'm just a basic truth.
What if I told you I have Gideon CD before costs with his vocals?
Is it cool?
It's really good. I've listened to them before. They're all on YouTube. It's just like, look up Gideon, and it's like a, I don't know, album cover. I can't picture it right now, but I know the colors. It kind of looks like the King's Kaleidoscope one with the green leaves, and
Oh yeah,
it kind of looks like that. It's really colorful.
not the Conchu on Koss.
No.
That's what I think about Moon Knight, dude. Looking back now.
Surprised you didn't think of Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, Gary hating on me for just because I know Brave New World by Huxley and Shakespeare the Tempest.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
funny.
So, should we move on to the next song?
Dude, let's do it.
Next song is Virtue. So I really like this song. It's definitely a mainstream, catchy song. You know, kind of, made for radio. If hardcore could make it to radio, I mean, it is a music video. Reminds me a lot of Close Your Eyes.
Dude, absolutely.
It's got those like, I don't know, guitar riffs and rides and chunks that they have like these little blast riff things that makes you just want to like throw your elbow really quick and hit someone behind you,
Yeah.
But yeah, I it's a fun song, and I think musically it's probably their most well written as far as breakdowns to chorus to little grooves and stuff that they do. Like, it's very dynamic, and I feel like a lot of effort was put into this song. But the meaning of the song is that people are questioning them, the band, for being on the road. And they're telling him, like, it's not worth it. Whatever you're doing, it's not worth the cost.
Yeah.
And the whole point of what he's saying is this is what they're made for. Like, this is what they want to do, And the one, like, Christian line that I've always thought was interesting is he says, I've counted the cost, nothing to lose. But then he says, because he, capital H, gave me everything I've lost.
Yeah.
It's like, I think they're trying to say God gave them the opportunity to tour and hit the road and do all this stuff, right? So the stuff that they're missing out on, they're trying to tell him, like, it's a dead end, you're going nowhere. And he's like, this is where we want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of it too, like the idea of like maybe parents or people in their life are like, dude, you're making no money. You're going around in a van and touring with your little band, going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, stay here, go to college or go get a job, do something with your life, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And this is a response to those people like, no. I've seen people that are hurting and in pain. And
this is where I belong.
This is what I'm made for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I was watching, here goes a rabbit trail. I was watching an Instagram reel of Wage War on tour with their latest like Slipknot thing.
Yeah.
And I like to follow those guys around because I really liked their first few albums, and I like songs here and there. They're good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the videos, they were like walking by the bus driver, and it was Dan McWhorter, the lead singer. And I had to like comment and be like, dude, why is he there? Like, what's going on? And people comment like, oh yeah, he's their bus driver.
That's cool.
Because he's used to the tour life. He can drive all night. Like, that's what he just wants to do. And I was like, that's really cool. So, I mean, he's still out there. He's still doing stuff. It's not like he's sitting at home doing nothing.
Wait, Daniel or Scooter?
Daniel McWhorter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's their bus driver.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah. I guess they're buddies. They all wear their cowboy hats together.
Yeah. I mean, I think, too, like, it's interesting because you can apply this to, like, your life and where you're at and what you do and all those things, you know? And saying when people look at you and maybe they scoff at things you're doing in your life and say, you know, go do something better with it. You know, some people might look at us and say, you've got jobs and kids and wives. Why are you making a podcast about screamo metal? Right? Like,
Yeah.
some people might look and for us, like, we look at we're having fun and maybe we're creating a community we feel like online, and like, who knows, you know, making authentic relationships when we feel like we're doing what we are supposed to. And I think you can kind of identify whatever you're doing in your life with this idea of like, no, like, what I'm doing is helpful and in some way, or maybe you reflect and maybe you feel like maybe you're not there and you should go do something that you're made for. I like this rallying cry, this anthem of, hey, don't judge me, I'm doing the Lord's work.
I would tell those people the chorus of the song. Tell me that I'm going nowhere. Tell me that this isn't enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just say, you know, I've counted the cost. It takes me 3 hours randomly one night, you know, maybe every 3 weeks to record this. Who knows how many hours to edit it.
Yeah.
I've counted the cost, you know. This is where I belong.
And nobody knows how hard this has been to record technically.
This episode.
This episode? Oh, man. Right? Like, we're talking ridiculous stuff, internet issues and stuff. But, it's funny. So I always thought back in the day when I first heard this and watched the music video and was all into this song, I thought he said, this is what I've prayed for. This is what I've prayed for.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And then, like, it I mean, in my mind, like, it made sense, but, like, with the other lyrics, like, okay, maybe, but obviously that's not what it says. You know? But, yeah, I love it. I think this is a great song, and you're so spot on with the close your eyes, like, reference. I get a bunch of those vibes.
Yeah. And it's interesting because later they go further from this style.
Sure.
You know?
Yes.
Less punky and less, like, I don't know, hardcore jam to more of a melodic, I guess is the word I'll say.
This is where I belong. I am out of the cause. Nothing to lose, because they gave me everything I lost. Tell me they're going nowhere. Tell me this isn't enough.
I love the ending breakdown too. It's just heavy.
This is where I belong.
Yeah.
Smash, smash,
and then
smash.
Heavy guitar, great breakdown, and you've got your group shouts, Gary. They're still there.
Yeah. You ready to move on to the last song we picked?
The last one, Kingdom Minded. not going to say I don't like this song, Gary. I love how it starts.
You basically just said, I don't like this song, Gary.
I really, 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 really love parts of it. I don't like the riff, the whole riff at the verses.
There's not much verses. It's mostly just them saying kingdom minded.
No, that's the chorus. I love that part.
Okay.
The part was like
then you're listening to the wrong instrument.
No, dude. I can't deal with that guitar riff. Like, it's okay. The screaming helps me get through it. But then when it goes dun, 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 and then it comes in,
yes.
Kingdom Minded. Love that part. Love it so much. And then I love the breakdown. I love when he comes in towards the end and says, "You haven't been where I've been. You haven't done what I've done," or whatever. Love all that.
He starts the song with that too.
I agree. But that riff, I can't do, dude.
You can't do.
I try, man. I try.
Well, we can't be friends. So,
but still, you get to that kingdom minded part, and it's so good.
So, you know what I really like about the song now that I'm older and able to look back and say it sounds like another band and not be mad about it?
Yeah.
Sounds like Sleeping Giant.
Sure.
Like simple guitars. It's got that double bass pedal, the walking double bass pedal where it's like, every once in a while, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're about to get heavy. Here we go. It's speeding up. And that really slow guitar that you're talking about, yeah.
Absolutely.
The drums are the fun part for that because
Yes.
you just feel it building to Kingdom Minded, But this is totally my jam. It is an amazing workout jam.
Oh, I can see that.
It's just drives and hits and just hits hard, right?
Yeah.
It has a steady rhythm and it just puts you in a pace, I guess. Good to run to, good to lift to. And I love how it starts with him just going, doing kung fu sounds. It's like, Hua! What is happening?
Yeah.
That's when you grab your weights,
Yes. The Sleeping Giant reference that you just made, spot on. Especially just that now I'm thinking about all the parts of this song. We love the chorus, Kingdom Minded, it's so good. But when it goes to that long, extended, slow dun 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 dun, that is so Sleeping Giant, man. Absolutely. Wow, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. But, to me, it's mostly a workout jam. Repeating Kingdom Minded. You haven't done what I've done. You haven't seen what I've seen. Not sure how that plays a part in it. But I like how he says, I don't live twice. Or he'll say, you only have one life. Lyrically, it's just, there's only one life to live. Live it for Christ. Be kingdom minded in everything you do.
Bro, is this Virtue Part 2? Is he continuing the conversation? He's like, I'm kingdom minded with this. You haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't done what I've done.
I can see that, Except isn't there a song or two between this and Virtue?
Yeah, I'm just saying, it could still be Part 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they drive the same inspiration, but
sure, yeah. Yeah.
I like, lyrically, it's just spot on. And it's I want to say it's been my mantra forever, to be kingdom minded.
Absolutely.
And the outro is just amazing. I tried to find where Scooter is at in this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few times where I'm like, is he doing, there's a group shout.
Yeah.
That's very groupy, right? Very reverby in the background. And you're like, it's way different. It's way more spaced out. And I'm like, maybe he's in there. Maybe he does one of the Kingdom Mindeds.
Yeah. Now, here's the question for you. Do you remember that I had a Kingdom Minded shirt?
What?
Yes. I bought it at that show.
What?
Yeah.
What
So
did it
it
look
had,
like?
it was awesome. It had GID up top, and then the rest of Gideon below. It was like
Eon?
split. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then there was a crown right in the middle. Okay. And
I'm
it was
remembering
huge
it.
letters.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
It looked
loved
like
it.
I didn't want to buy that because it looked like a rapper shirt.
Yes, it did kind of look like a
Because it
rapper
had
shirt.
like this big gold crown and giant letters. And I'm like, I don't know, like,
So I really liked that shirt for a long time, right?
yeah.
And I was at a Bible study when I moved out back to my hometown from college, right? And one of the guys there was like, he's like, "Are you wearing a Budweiser shirt?" Like thinking like he didn't really get it, but he saw the crown, and I
Yeah,
guess
it
the
says-
crown looks like Budweiser.
It says Bud Wise, and on the back it just says
And like I'm like, no, it's Gideon, dude.
Gideon,
It's kingdom
guys.
minded. He's
Come
like, oh, I
on.
thought it King of Beers. I thought it was like. And so ever since then, I was like, whatever. But
That sucks. You
Yeah,
still have
so
that
that-
shirt?
somewhere I'm sure.
Well, you know what I want to do with a lot of my old band shirts? I've been
Yeah.
seeing people do this on Facebook and stuff. You know, as they get older and they don't fit. Like, all of my band shirts from college are either smalls or mediums, and I wear
Yeah.
large now, you know?
Yeah.
And unless I want to show my belly button, I'm not wearing those shirts. But I've been seeing people, like, they would cut the shirt out in a square and make it like a big old blanket, like a quilt thing.
Oh yeah. I've
And
seen
one
that.
person was like, I don't need a blanket. I live in Florida. So he was making
True.
flags.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But maybe one day I can convince my wife to take up a new, craft and be like, hey, I have these 15 shirts that I'm not going to wear anymore.
I think some of mine too, though, like that Gideon one. At the time, it sounded great, but like looking back, I'm never gonna wear the Gideon shirt again. Like huge logo, big letters. People think it's
Neck to
Budweiser.
belt.
Neck to belt, right? I'm not. I had this one August Burns Red T-shirt that was like the most ridiculous, like weird colored, like spaceships, barfing.
Early 2010s. Yeah.
Yes, like I had that. I
love those
wouldn't
shirts.
wear that again. Like looking back and seeing me in pictures with that T-shirt, I'm like, what was I thinking? You know?
Yeah. They were cool at the time.
They were cool at
They're
the time.
cool now. I would never wear one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't
not
know.
professional. They're not grown up. I don't know.
I just love now how it's like simple, small logo on the front, logo on the back.
I love that too. And
It's
people
so good.
online are complaining about it.
Why?
They want a giant logo, like a giant art design on the front and
Nope,
nothing on
nope.
the back. Because they want to wear like a coat and be able to show off their design. And I'm like, no, I want no one to know
Yeah.
anything about what I'm wearing except for this tiny thing on the front unless I'm walking away from them.
Right. Yeah, I think it just like fits like with everything else too. Like you don't stand out a ton, right? Like if I wear that Gideon shirt,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
huge letters from neck to belly, like you
Yeah.
said, you see it coming a mile away.
Yeah. And
You know.
everyone looks at it and goes, what is that?
Yes.
Where if you have like the shirt I'm wearing right now, right? Small August Burns Red thing with like a little boat,
Yeah.
right? And on the back,
Love it.
same thing, but huge with
Yeah.
more detail. It's got like a skeleton hand and all that. But like, so August Burns Red fans would up front would see that and go, oh, August Burns Red. Most people aren't going to bat an eye or say anything.
Nope. Yeah.
But when I wear those band shirts that say like, I am a murderer in giant bloody letters, and on the
Yeah.
back it says, wash me clean, I'm tired of turning around at church and be like, no, it's okay. Read the back of my shirt.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wash me clean. They're Christian, I swear. Like, Impending Doom's a Christian band. And having to, have this conversation, I'd rather not do that.
For sure. That's interesting. So you bought that shirt at the most recent ABR show?
Last night, yes, I bought the shirt last night.
Okay, what does the back say?
Can you read it?
The harder we try, the more the deeper we sink. Ties that bind off of Guardians. Oh.
Which they actually played at the show, and they were like, this is our first time playing this live. Not that show, but the tour. It's the first
Sure.
time on tour that they played it. And, it was a good song. It was great. It was a lot of fun. But yeah,
That's cool. Sweet,
I
man.
missed you. I had to go without you.
I know. I haven't gone to a show since.
I don't know.
Never.
I've gone to a lot since.
I already said my next show is the Undertaking Meadows.
Yeah, right.
Fall
November
Star. That's happening
on a Tuesday
Oh,
or like a Thursday.
yeah, dude, for sure.
Ongoing concept.
Oh, yeah.
Undertaking.
That'll be fun, dude.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So anyway, I think we should wrap up this episode. Wrap up this discussion. For those that don't know, Gideon Costs. It's their best album.
Yeah.
According to me. Tyler, what about you? Is it their best?
It's Tyler approved, so yeah, it's good.
It's a lot of fun. It's older school, hardcore, less melodic, more raw. And we hope you guys liked it. Maybe we convinced you that it's also really good. And, you know, if you don't agree with us about bands that go apostate, if that's the word we want to use to describe this, then you should tell us about it on Instagram or on our Discord.
Yep.
And if you like what we're doing, support us on Patreon. Buy us a cup of coffee. We use that money to buy equipment, to pay for the software we use that we're kind of frustrated with today with our recording.
Yeah.
And, you know, we do giveaways with it, which we just... By the time this drops, there will be a huge giveaway that just ended for our 1 year of Discord. And it's going to be crazy. Whoever wins is going to be lucky.
Absolutely.
And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's too late for you.
But join our Discord anyways. Check it out.
Go see what you missed out on.
Thank you for listening.